All right, good evening. We're gearing up for some of the coldest weather that we've seen since February. We know Monday and Tuesday are going to be our really cold days here in the New Orleans area. So getting into the details and just getting you prepared for what we're looking for. First of all, when? Winter cold coming really Monday and Tuesday, especially in the mornings. The impact that we're talking about are kind of two main concerns. One is the wind chills on Monday morning in the 30s. So if you're going out there getting something done early, waiting for the bus, getting out on the commute, you're going to be feeling like 30s and maybe even some spots 20s. So that's sort of the first thing to look for with this Arctic blast. Tuesday, it will be not the wind chills, but rather the air temperatures themselves, because the cold will really be settling in with less wind, but actually a freeze or frost on Tuesday morning. So Monday, we're actually not looking for a freeze, but it will feel like freezing. And then Tuesday is our day that we have a freeze, and a new freeze watch is out from the National Weather Service. What to do? You know how to bundle up for cold weather. I'm sure it's been a while, but I'm sure you know scarves, extra layers, coats, things like that you'll have to pull out. We haven't needed them in a while, especially not yesterday when we hit 85 on Saturday. Protect your pets, plants, and people as well. Make sure everybody around you is safe and warm. Your pets, make sure that they have a warm, safe place, whether it's indoors or somewhere else. So Monday, the frigid wind chills. Tuesday, the frost freeze. The rest of the Sunday, though, we're just looking for a cool, windy kind of feel this evening and then turning colder at night. Again, tomorrow will be the wind chills, 20s and 30s, and then a cold, windy day, the afternoon in the 50s. So not really excessively cold, but certainly for this time of year, way below average. And then Tuesday is the light freeze or frost away from the city. And so this is our new freeze watch that has been issued today. We're talking about Monday evening to Tuesday morning. So a heads up, it's not actually for Sunday night, it's for Monday night that we're looking for temperatures to drop down to freezing. And we're looking for right around 30 degrees for a lot of spots, and some of you maybe even upper 20s. I'll show you in just a second, but right now we're looking at a pretty evening. We have our temperatures right now in the 60s for most of our locations. It's actually a beautiful day. We started with clouds with that front. We also had a lot of wind, so current wind speeds up to 20 miles per hour and some gusts near 30 or so miles per hour. Now here is where our front is. This was tracking toward us last night, moved in, and now it is well to the east of us, and we're starting to feel the effects of that cooler air. And you can see it's already in the 40s in some spots like Tennessee, around Memphis, and into Little Rock, Arkansas. Jackson, Mississippi is in the 50s, and we're in the 60s. But this cold core of air is going to be moving farther south as we get into tonight. This trough in the upper atmosphere pushing it all the way down into the southeast and indeed the Gulf Coast where we are. I wanted to show you really quickly, though, look how quickly this pattern changes. The cold core sweeps off to the east of us pretty fast, and this is just by Tuesday. We're already warming up. Tuesday morning, very cold, but even by the afternoon, we'll be near 60, and then we're not looking for any other cold weather impacts the rest of the week after Tuesday morning, really. Here's our wind chill forecast. I wanted to show you quickly. This is Sunday at 10 p.m., so we're jumping ahead to tonight. Feeling like 50s, not terrible, but fast forward to tomorrow morning. I've paused it here at 7 a.m. We're feeling like freezing for a lot of spots like Bogalusa, almost like freezing at Slidell. And keep in mind, this is just a model prediction of what the wind chills will be. So easily it could feel at times, especially farther north, like 20s, and feeling like in the 30s, even south of the lake. So this is a really cold kind of setup for your Monday morning. But by Monday afternoon, we're already feeling only like 50s because we'll have sunshine out. Air temperatures will be in the 50s, and then our winds will gradually be slacking off heading toward Tuesday. Your Monday forecast, I mean, we haven't seen this kind of forecast in a long time. So just looking at it hour by hour, starting the day cold and then ending up in the 50s. So still kind of cold, at least by New Orleans standards. Here are morning lows tomorrow morning. We're in the 30s north, lower 40s south of the lake. So certainly feeling chilly, but again, the wind will be making all these temperatures feel maybe about 5 or so degrees lower than where the actual air temperatures will be. Then we'll jump ahead to Tuesday morning, and here are air temperatures in the 20s. Now this is not quite pipe bursting weather. You need to be below about 25 or so for a pretty decent amount of time, with a longer freeze overnight, but this is going to be some cold weather, of course. 30s south of Lake Pontchartrain to around 40 to start your day on Tuesday. Now, when we look at our map, this is showing in the teals frost and in the purples freeze conditions. So You can get frost, of course, when you're a little bit above the freezing mark of 32 degrees because it's a little cooler right along the ground and along certain surfaces. So as you look at our Monday morning outlook, it looks like frost might be possible north of the lake. I would say if you're north of the lake, you need to protect your plants and pets for the next morning anyway. Go ahead and take care of that. I would say Sunday evening, especially the plants, if you haven't covered, of course, sensitive plants so far this year because we haven't seen this kind of cold. Nothing really happening south of the lake. And I will point out also, frost is not really looking especially likely for tomorrow morning, even where you see it's possible because wind prevents frost from settling and kind of building up. So you might get frost tomorrow morning for those teal shaded areas, but check it out. We should jump ahead to Tuesday morning, and the purples are freeze conditions. Actually, look at this. The pipe freeze conditions, you're going to be close. As I was saying, around 25 degrees is where that starts. I don't think you really need to worry too much about this because it's just one night and it's not a cumulative kind of effect, but we are looking at that potential maybe for our farther north areas toward Washington Parish, Pearl River County, and certainly farther north in Mississippi. Purple is showing where you could get a light freeze, so that's where you want to protect your pets, plants, and people, and even frost south of the lake. You'll want to watch out for pets, plants, and people. Just check on people you know who might need someone to check on them and make sure that they can stay warm overnight. So you can see we might get actually a little bit of frost kind of encroaching on the metro area. This is just, again, a model depiction, but this is the kind of weather that we're expecting that we haven't seen in many months. So we'll look at our 7-day forecast as you make your plans. It is a cold snap for sure, but we've seen this kind of cold before. The big thing with this cold snap is just that it's coming at this time where you might not anticipate that. Yesterday again we hit 85 degrees. We tied a record high, and Friday also 85. So now we're talking about 55 tomorrow for the high. And when you look at 85 and then dropping to like mid 30s or upper 20s in the space of a couple of days, that's a big drop off. So again, get out that stuff that you haven't needed lately, coats, couple of extra layers, or a hat, if you have to be outside for any length of time on Monday or Tuesday mornings or in the evenings or night. Tuesday is the colder day. You can see north of the lake, we're talking about upper 20s. I think the Slidell area right around that 28, 29 kind of range. That's a light freeze still. If you're farther north, you might get closer to that 26 or 27. So just a heads up, this is for our North Shore spots, and then south of the lake, we're looking for upper 30s to about 40. So cold for Tuesday to start your Veterans Day, and then highs Tuesday get all the way to 61. And as that cold core moves away from us, we start to see high pressure kind of moving in, and we see our Wednesday morning lows. Nothing like what we're going to see the next couple of days. We're talking about 40s north and around 50 south of the lake to start Wednesday morning, and then we're already in the 70s. This is going to happen fast. By Wednesday, it's going to be right back to a spring-like almost kind of feel. Not quite spring, but 70s certainly, of course, warmer than what we're going to see in the Monday, Tuesday timeframe. Then we continue to warm, and it actually looks like by this weekend we'll be looking for our highs in the 70s. We may have a chance of rain later in the weekend, but still kind of ironing out the details for that. So keep your eye on that Sunday forecast. Might be some scattered showers and a couple of storms, but we're still about a week or so out from that. So again, what do you need to do? Make sure pets, plants, people are secure. Make sure you have all your clothes ready to go for Monday and Tuesday mornings, and whoever else counts on you, whether it's your kids or someone else. And then as we get toward the middle of the week, we'll be warming up once again. Remember to stay with us on WWL+. We'll have lots of updates coming as we get this Arctic blast in New Orleans.